Have you ever felt like someone was right there with you, even though you were completely alone? Maybe you've had that strange, warm feeling during a prayer, or maybe someone helped you out in a critical moment and then disappeared without a trace, leaving you wondering if what just happened was even real. Well, maybe you're surrounded by angels and you just haven't noticed yet. And what's even crazier, most people go through life completely missing the signs. They keep asking for proof that God is watching over them, but they don't realize that the proof is often hidden in the little details. This video is all about tearing down the veil between the visible and the invisible. And no, we're not talking about some spiritualist mumbo-jumbo or silly superstition. This is real. It's biblical. It's spirituality you can actually feel. It's a shift in awareness. If you're tired of just going through the motions, checking off all the religious boxes and still feeling empty, then maybe what you're missing is the ability to see the way heaven moves around you. These aren't just coincidences. They're real, undeniable signs, 7 of them, that spiritual forces are already working in your life right now. And no, you don't need to become a monk or obsess over supernatural stuff to experience this. If you have even a little bit of faith and just a touch of curiosity, stay with me, because somewhere in this message, you might find the very answer you've been searching for, without even knowing it. Let's start with a feeling many people report. That moment when your soul finally quiets down, you start to pray or worship, and suddenly you feel this warmth. It's not the room temperature, it's something deeper, something that wraps around you, something that makes your skin tingle, but also touches your heart in a way no heater ever could. That feeling is more than just emotion. For many, it's the presence of angels. It's a sign that heaven is close, drawn in by the atmosphere of faith and surrender. It's a spiritual touch that wakes you up to the reality that God is near. And interestingly, this warmth tends to come when your prayer is real. Not rehearsed, not rushed, just raw and honest. Some people say they feel it while kneeling in tears. Others feel it while preparing breakfast and whispering a simple thank you. The place doesn't matter. What matters is the connection. When this kind of presence shows up, it's like Jesus himself is wrapping you in peace, chasing away even the coldest doubts. That's spirituality made tangible. Now imagine if you use that feeling as a kind of spiritual thermometer. Every time you notice it, take it as a little whisper from God saying, "I'm right here, don't stop." If you want to experience this more often, you don't need fancy rituals, just honesty. Set up a quiet space for prayer. Listen to worship music while you reflect. Thank God with your whole heart. The more sincere you are, the stronger the connection. And here's the fascinating part. The more you recognize that presence, the more often it shows up. It's like the spiritual realm responds to your awareness. But what about those moments when there's no warmth, but instead an overwhelming peace that doesn't make any sense? You've probably felt it before. Everything's falling apart. Around you, life's a mess, nothing is going right, and yet deep down, you feel calm. It's not denial. It's not emotional numbness. It's something deeper. Like being in the eye of the storm. That's not weakness. That's spiritual strength. It's the peace of God wrapping itself around your heart and whispering, "I'm still in control." It's the kind of peace that makes no sense, and yet it's very real. Daniel, the same guy who was thrown into a den of lions, didn't panic. He didn't beg. He rested. Not because he was naive or overly brave, but because the spiritual reality around him was more powerful than the fear outside. When your awareness is locked into heaven, fear loses its grip. That's when faith takes over and peace replaces panic. You see this in people going through intense struggles, like terminal illness or heartbreak, yet they carry a smile that isn't fake. That smile isn't denial, it's faith. It's strength that comes from a place logic can't touch. Want to tap into that kind of peace? Try this. Before bed, write down 3 times you felt peace during your day, even if you don't understand why. That simple habit strengthens your spiritual awareness and opens your heart to see where God is already moving. And just when you think peace is the peak of it all, life surprises you again. Imagine getting help at just the right time from someone you've never met and who disappears before you can even say thank you. It happens more than you think. You're stuck, you're desperate, and suddenly a stranger shows up, says just the right thing, does just the right thing, and then poof, they're gone. No names, no goodbyes, just silence and a heart overflowing with gratitude. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But the spiritual world doesn't play by movie rules. It's even more subtle and way more powerful. God sends his messengers exactly when they're needed. And most of the time, they don't come with wings. They look just like anyone else. There's this well-known story of a guy whose car broke down on a deserted road. Out of nowhere, an old man shows up, fixes the car silently, and when the driver turns to thank him, the man is gone. No tracks, no vehicle, nothing, just peace. That wasn't luck. That was a divine setup. That was the spiritual showing up in the physical world. And that's exactly why you should never underestimate the power of being kind to strangers. Sometimes you're not just helping, you're being used by God. Other times, it's you receiving help from someone heaven sent. Either way, these moments tune your life into something bigger. As Hebrews 13:2 reminds us, many have helped angels without even realizing it. Could that have already happened to you? But not all angelic encounters happen in real life. Sometimes they come when you're asleep, but your soul is wide awake. Some dreams are just mental clutter, but others, they're so vivid, so intense, that you wake up feeling like you touch something sacred. These dreams often bring answers, warnings, or moments of comfort. It's like God is pulling you aside for a private conversation through his angels. This isn't wishful thinking. It's real spiritual communication happening while the world sleeps. Remember Joseph, Mary's husband? He changed the course of history because of a dream with an angel in it. So why do we brush off our own dreams so quickly? That phrase you can't shake off all day? That scene that felt too real to be fake and then actually comes true later? These aren't coincidences, they're messages, signs that your awareness doesn't clock out just because your body is asleep. If you want to explore this more, keep a notebook by your bed. Jot down anything you remember from your dreams, even if it seems random. Then pray. Ask God for wisdom. He'll speak. And sometimes his favorite time to talk is when everything else goes quiet. But it's not just dreams. Sometimes his protection is so obvious it practically screams, "That was me." You've probably had close calls before. Moments where something told you to change your route, and then you find out something bad happened exactly where you were supposed to be. That's not just luck. That's divine protection. That's God working silently, using his angels to move you out of harm's way before you even knew there was danger. That's heaven whispering, "Not today." And often you don't even realize it until later. You'll look back and think, "Man, that could have been really bad." And that's when it hits you. God really is handling the details. Spiritual protection is subtle, but insanely effective. Just like Psalm 91 says, God's angels are commanded to guard you in every step, and they obey, whether you believe it or not. Want to lean into that kind of protection more? Start your mornings with a prayer for guidance. Speak to God like a real father. Lord, if something today isn't for me, keep it far from me. If I'm headed toward danger, reroute me. That simple moment of surrender could be the difference between a normal day and a miracle you never even noticed. And along with protection, there are also these moments of mind-blowing clarity. You're stuck, frustrated, out of options. Then suddenly, bam, an idea, a breakthrough, a shift. You didn't think your way to it. It just happened. And deep down, you know it didn't come from you. That's the Holy Spirit. That's God nudging your awareness and saying, "Hey, this way." People who stay spiritually connected seem to experience this a lot. They just know things, but it's not guessing, it's alignment. Paul, stuck in a violent storm, was told by an angel that nobody on board would die. Imagine that kind of peace. Those downloads from heaven, they show up when you need them most, and they change everything. You can have that too. Read Proverbs, dive into Jesus' parables, fill your mind with truth, and before bed just say, God, give me understanding. That one sentence could unlock something you've been wrestling with for months. And listen, if you think this is only for the super spiritual folks, think again. Because even in your weakest moment, heaven shows up. Everyone hits rock bottom. Eventually, you feel like quitting. Life's too much, hope feels gone. But then something shifts, a flicker of strength, a breath of encouragement. You sit up, you smile, you move forward, even when it makes no sense. That's not you being strong. That's divine encouragement. That's God whispering, it's not over yet. And yes, the angels are still right there. Elijah, in his lowest moment, wanted to die, but God sent an angel with food and rest. Jesus, before facing the cross, was strengthened by an angel too. Heaven doesn't walk away when you're at your worst. That's when it comes closest. That sudden strength that showed up out of nowhere, that was from above. So if any of this hit home, remember, you're not crazy, you're not weak, you're human, and heaven knows that. Feed your spirituality with small actions. Write God a thank you letter, play a song that lifts your spirit, talk to someone who inspires you. When positivity feels impossible, just remember, you don't need to create the strength, it's already being sent to you. And here's the most beautiful part. The more you pay attention to these signs, the more you'll start noticing them. And just when you think you've figured it all out, you realize the signs, they were just the beginning. Now that you know these 7 clear signs that angels might be surrounding you, here's the real question. What are you going to do with this? Will you forget it like just another video? Or will you start looking at your life differently, looking for the moments when God speaks without saying a word? The choice is yours. But know this, ignoring the spiritual doesn't make it disappear. It just makes you blind to what's already right in front of your eyes. So tell me, have you ever experienced one of these signs? That deep peace? That one dream? Drop a comment and let me know which one hit you hardest. I'd love to hear your story and help you see even more. And if this message hit you in any way, if it made something click inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share this with someone who needs to know they're not alone. Because when we wake up our awareness, heaven responds. So, are you ready to see the invisible?